Is your fiction book cover attracting the right type of readers? A book cover, a genre-specific quality book cover can make a huge difference. I've seen it where it can lead up to 3 times more readers for the exact same marketing costs. So yes, it can make a huge difference. I'm Denis, lead book marketing coach with Weekend Publisher. In this video, we're going to go over what the purpose of the cover serves, the biggest mistake you're probably making with yours, how you can test yours in the most objective way possible that's completely free, and where to outsource yours if you do decide you need a new cover, or if you're just starting from scratch. So let's start off with what the purpose of the cover serves. It serves 2 purposes. It serves to create expectations and for people to actually click or pick up your book. Now let's break down both of them. So expectations, it was this hand here. Yeah, expectations in terms of quality and genre. It's very important, both those facts. People will judge your book by its cover, and having a quality and genre specific cover will show how much love and care that you put into your book, that I am sure you watching this now, you did put into your book. Genre specific, people need to know what they're getting themselves into. A lot of conflicts start, interpersonal conflicts or bad reviews start with poor expectations. So the whole marketing needs to set the proper expectations. If your book is a first contact sci-fi book, the cover, the blurb, the reviews, what you say about the book, all the marketing has to match those same expectations all the way down. And then the other one is to get people to click on your book. And that one is pretty self-explanatory. On Amazon, you want people to, that's the first step, is people to click on your book and to read the blurb. Or if you're in a bookstore, people to pick up the book. And typically what people do is they pick up the book and then they flip it over and read your blurb. So the biggest mistake I see authors make in my coaching, I do one-on-one book marketing coaching, and I could talk a little bit about that later in the video. But the biggest mistake I see authors make is this, is they look at, let me just switch my screen here. They look at their cover, they get their cover from the cover designer, and it's really exciting time. It's sort of like Christmas. You're like, oh, what did their creative mind come up with? And they look at their cover like this on their desktop, or and you might have done this as well. Look at the cover on the desktop or on their phone, and they start zooming into all the details and being like, oh, you know what? I really like the grain in the font here. And oh, you know what, this guy, it's not really the type of camouflage that he would use, and the rocks aren't really the same. Now, this is not the way readers will be looking at your cover. They'll be looking at your cover like this, in a thumbnail view. They're not going to see a lot of those details. Yeah, they'll see them when, if they order a paperback and they're looking at it. Or the other way for them to see it is if they click the read more, where they can read the first 10% of your book, and then they have to zoom up to see the closest to a full screen cover that they can. So this is the way readers are going to be looking at your book cover. They're not going to be looking at it straight on, unless they're in a bookstore and they're missing their glasses or something, right? And they're looking at covers straight up, and they're like, oh, is which one? They're not going to be doing that. So you need to look at your cover in the thumbnail view. Now, how to objectively look at your cover, what you need to do is look at your, let me just transition back here. You need to look at your cover in that thumbnail view relative to other books that are selling well in your genre. So readers are not going to be just looking at your book. They're going to be looking at a bunch of other books before they make a decision. And there's a lot of important factors that go into that, including, yes, the cover, the blurb, the reviews, the look inside. There's other factors that go into it. But again, we just want people to click on ours to at least have a chance for people to be drawn into our book and purchase it and read it. So what you need to do is look at your cover objectively relative to other covers that are in your genre. So how do you do that? First of all, you need to find other books that are in your genre. An exercise that I go through with my coaching clients is called match your market fast track. So what that does is my clients go through an exercise where they find 15 to 30 books that most match their book. There's not going to be a book that is exactly like yours, but a book that would appeal to the similar type of audience that your book would. And what you want to do is you want to find books that are selling well. Well, selling well, what does that mean? What you want to do is look at the ABSR, and I'll probably do another video on what ABSR is, so make sure you subscribe. But what it is essentially is an Amazon bestseller rank. And like golf, the lower the better. So what's selling well, typically it's 50,000 and below. So what you need to do is gather books that are similar to yours, take screenshots of their book covers, and look at yours in the thumbnail view objectively to theirs. So this is what that looks like. So this is just a simple Word document. I go to layout, I open up a new document, layout, narrow margins, landscape, and I just start copying and pasting the covers for the books that are most similar to mine. So in this exercise here, Cenorian Gate was a book I started writing. I don't know if I'm ever going to launch it. I haven't gone around to finishing it, busy with coaching clients and the business and so on. But yeah, you can look at it objectively to other covers in your genre. And a cover is broken down into two sections. There's the title and the font, and then there's the background image. So we want to look at them objectively broken down into those two phases. So you could see here, this is one that I created on my own, a DIY, do it yourself. DIY, do it yourself. I do not recommend that. We'll get into that a little bit about where I recommend to outsource it. This one here was done through Fiverr. Not great. And then this one was done through a professional. So let's break this professional one down relative to the other ones. And let's start with the font and the title. So Cenorian Gate, I'm going to do another video on how to make sure your title is genre appropriate as well, so I won't get too much into that. Let's get into the font. And you can see that the font relative to the other ones is very appropriate. It's not serif font, it's not anything fancy like you would see like in a romance. It's very simple, very bold, so the font is good. So what about the background image? Okay, if we look at the background images here, except for, there's a couple of exceptions, but typically they have like a dark background with some source of light. So if we look at USS Hamilton here, there is, of course it's space, so it's going to be dark. So there's a source of light here, this one here, there's a couple of sources of lights, this one here. This one's quite bright, so this one is sort of an exception. This one is a little bit different as well. It's a very famous book, but yeah, if we reference that and then go back to the Cenorian Gate one that was done professionally, half of it is bright, half of it is dark. So I might want to look at, if I want to match the genre very, very closely, I might want to look at, okay, maybe darkening some of the sky or darkening some of the planet. If we look at what is the main feature of the image as well, this one here, there's a couple, well, not this one, because this one's junk. Like this one's not clear, like a toy, like a Lego soldier or something. Look at the hands, like who cups their hands like that when they're standing stoically? Anyways, that's dumb. Anyway, so you see they either feature a soldier or they feature some sort of battleship. So I might want to look at this one and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I want to feature the soldier a little bit more. It's, it's very, very small compared to everything else. So those are some of the changes that I might want to look at to specifically match the genre and take inspiration from them. So again, it's broken down to two parts, the actual font and the background image, and we want to look at it in this thumbnail view relative to other books that are selling well in your genre. Now, I did say I was going to talk a little bit about the coaching opportunity. So if you do want to take the guesswork out of how to get more readers and do it the right way, we do here at Weekend Publisher offer one-on-one coaching. Many clients of our that work with us love how it saves them dozens of hours and money in the long run, and increases their confidence in their work and being able to reach the right type of readers. So if you're interested in that, I will link it down below. So let's talk about how to outsource yours, or after this exercise that you did, you might be like, okay, well, I need a new one, or maybe you're starting from scratch. So there's a couple of places that I recommend. First of all, I do not recommend doing it yourself. There's a big difference between being a writer and being a graphic designer. Like, people go to graphic design school for years to get good at this. So us being able to do it in just a couple of hours using like Canva or something is not gonna work. You're not gonna get a quality cover that way unless you have a background in graphic design. So the places that I will recommend, and they're all linked down below, they are affiliate links. A lot of them are affiliate links. So it's the same price for you, but I do get a couple dollars kickback for recommending them. Why do I recommend them? Because they're really the best bang for the buck in the industry. So they will range from $15 to $2,000. Now, $15 is get covers. And the difference between a do-it-yourself and a $15 cover is massive. There's a massive difference. So if you are tight on budget, at least do the $15 cover one. And again, I'll link that down below. Now, the next price point I'm going to recommend is $200. And that company is Miblart. And again, I'll link it down below. The difference between a $15 cover and a $200 cover is also quite vast. $15 cover you can kind of get away with. You will notice that it's not quite up to quality, but the $200 cover, you can get a very quality cover for just $200, which is quite a bargain in the industry. That is really the best bang for your buck in the industry that I have noticed from working years and coaching hundreds of clients to do this. The next one I'll recommend is somewhere in the range of $600 and $2,000. This one will be a professional freelance cover designer. And I'll link a couple of links down below in terms of how you can find those. Now, the difference between a $200 cover and, let's say, a $1,000 cover, there is a difference in terms of quality for sure. But there you start getting more diminishing returns. So if you do have the budget to afford that price point, the $600 to $2,000, I would say absolutely do it. But just know that you are starting to get some diminishing returns from that $200 price point. So there we have it. That was what the purpose of the cover was, the biggest mistake you've been making with yours, how to test yours objectively, and where to outsource a new one. Again, all the links are down below, including to the coaching of Weekend Publisher. If you did gain some value from this video, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers in 2023, and I think we're at 700 now, so your subscription will go a long way, certainly, and I'll catch you in the next one.